Welcome back to the Deland Rock and Metal Festival Spring 2013, and here for our last interview, Druid Lord. How you doing, guys? So who is Druid Lord, and how would you describe the history of the band?
Well, go ahead, Pete. I mean, the whole idea was to put a band together that was all about more like doom metal and old school death metal. And Steve and I first got together about 3 years ago, and we had some riffs together. And then we've had a former band with Tony, Equinox, and we talked to him about doing this band with us, and he was into it. Then Ben came into the fold, and we've done an album, a couple 7-inch EPs, and played a lot of gigs.
As a doom death metal band, how have you been received in the Florida metal scene? Do you have a strong audience?
I think we've had a really good response here. I think when we first started out, people didn't really quite know how to take us because they were so used to the traditional death metal style. And when you come in playing a slower style, it kind of like caught people off guard. But over the last couple of years, things have really picked up, and now like every time we play a show, we get more fans.
And we're selling merch.
Absolutely. DruidLord.com.
Alongside extreme metal influences, you also listed places like Facebook 70s, moog, and dark progressive albums.
That's Pete.
That's me. Okay, describe that with us.
I think for me personally, I mean, I listen to a lot of older style 70s progressive music. I love electronic, like early 70s, the Moog synthesizer, Mellotron, Italian bands, Japanese bands, you name it. I mean, there's so much good electronic. It's so dark and moody that, I mean, we may not really use those type of instruments in our band, so to speak, but we try to convey that feeling into our own music, you know? So,
what inspires the band thematically?
70s horror.
70s
Yeah.
horror?
60s horror sometimes.
Yeah.
Pete will tell me to watch a movie like Bear and Blood, and I'll watch it and come up with lyrics. You know? And some of these movies I never heard of, but you know, Pete's the big cult movie fan, so he tells me what to watch.
Yeah, really. Do you usually play among fellow doom death metalers, or do you usually play alongside wide variety?
Well, we have, like, I'll tell you this, internationally, we're well known. I mean, as far as in Europe and stuff, we have a lot of friends that we know in other doom bands, but locally, there's not really many bands doing this here. So we're just playing with we're either playing with death metal bands, or we're playing with like the stoner doom bands, which is cool too, because it's two different sides.
Yeah. How do you feel playing in the Deland Rock and Metal Festival with such a wide variety of music?
It's awesome.
Yeah. I love it.
So many different styles.
This is a great venue, and it's, you know, I mean, it's a lot. You know, there's a lot more festival than I thought there was going to be. You know, I mean, not just like a bunch of people playing music. There's a lot of people there.
I think it's cool because it started off kind of, it was like just regular metal, and then it got heavier and heavier and heavier, and now it's really getting heavy, so I like that.
What kind of horror-esque tales or tropes do the band favor for the music?
Anything that has to do with witches, castles, vampires,
People who torture people to death?
You know, I mean, you know,
Sadists.
Yeah.
you know, think of Norwegian folklore and Transylvania ideas.
So what is the goal of Druid Lord, or the dream? Like, what's the vision?
World tour.
Go to Europe. Just, you know what, record, make some cool albums, play shows, play metal, meet cool people.
The members of Druid Lord making other music projects?
Oh yeah.
You don't, but you do.
I do. I play drums for a band called Grey Worm, but I'm just the studio drummer. I don't play live.
I mean, we have our we have our old band Equinox that we're going to be re-releasing some of our old death metal stuff back in the 90s. But as far as being functional now, it's not really going.
What advice and insight would you give to newly formed doom or death metal bands starting out in Florida or even elsewhere?
We don't like to give them any advice. We like to keep all the secrets to ourselves because
Be heavy, play slow, play doom.
Actually, just do something different, you know? I mean, you know, we're doing something that a lot of bands aren't doing in Florida. It's kind of cool. I mean, I think a lot of people do more stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to mix it up, man.
What can we expect in the near future from Druid Lord? Like any surprises coming our way?
Another full length coming out.
Right, we're working on a full length. They should be out by the end of the year. We're working on a 7-inch EP called Vernon for a European label called Dementia Records. So that should be out hopefully by fall.
All right, awesome. That's it for my questions. Anything else you'd like to say to the audience?
Thanks for listening to Druid Lord.
DruidLord.com.